Welcome, it's a great day to be a miner because we got some new hardware, baby. We're gonna unbox this thing, we're gonna set it up, we're gonna go over the specs, the features, and all that fun jazz. But first, let's spin that intro. All right, first and foremost, let's do a quick disclaimer. This product was provided to us by solosatoshi.com and it was free of charge for our product review. That being said, this is not a sponsored video and the opinions in this video are that of our own. So without further ado, you're probably saying, what's in the box? What's in the box? You know what time it is, baby. RGB knife. Engage. Never gets old. Okay. Again, huge shout out to Solo Satoshi. We're gonna unbox this thing. We're gonna go over just an abbreviated setup, but we're gonna go over the specs and the features, and we're gonna tell you why this is the best bang for buck NerdQaxe that you can find out there on the market. If you're unfamiliar with the NerdQaxe, it's basically 4 of the bitaxe gammas sandwiched together in one unholy, beautiful marriage. And what makes this one different is it has some unique upgrades through Solo Satoshi that I've not seen through any other of the competitors. And of course, we'll talk about that and why this is superior. And actually, the price of this is basically about the same as you would pay for, or less than you would pay for some of the competitors without the additional features. So I'll quit gabbing and I'll get this thing out of here and we'll see what's in here. All right, in the box, very well packaged. It was actually put in there really, really well with a lot of packing material. And if you've never bought from solosatoshi.com, it is actually US based. I'll put links for this down in the description. But it gets there really quick, like they are super quick on the shipping. I've never had any product issue or any shipping issues, so I can't really speak to that, but I can speak to the very quick service, quick turnaround, and ran by good people, which is a really important part in the business that gets lost a lot of the times. So that if you do have issues, they are pretty good about taking care of them, is what I've heard. So let's open this up. Man, that thing, they definitely wrapped it. Okay, so there's our first layer. And now our second layer is actually one of the bags, bubble mailer bag. And it's sealed too, look at this. What are we doing here? Wow, that is very well protected. Okay, pull that out of there. Next, so that is our main, this is our main NerdQaxe board. So we're gonna set it aside. We're gonna pull out the other components. There is our beautiful stand. This is a unique stand too. I haven't had one of this same exact design. And you'll notice that it's kind of closed with a giant hole in the back. So that's interesting. So why would we have a giant hole in the back of this miner? Because we're gonna cool the back, of course. Beautiful, nice, beefy Noctua fan. This is the NF-A8. It is an 80 millimeter Noctua, and pretty much all your Noctua fans come in these nice, beautiful boxes. You can open up the Velcro back, and then it shows you your instructions. You can open up the Velcro front, and there you can see your fan and your product. Noctua, best of the best, baby. Okay, so we'll set that down. What else do we have? We have our power supply, of course. And this is not a typical power supply. Again, we'll talk about what's different with that. This would be our invoice, so we don't want to show that one off. And then, so right inside, what do we got? We've got some nice sticker sheet. And the stickers are Hash Punk, Anarchy. This is your fan. This is for your fan, because they always put the fan on the middle of your bitaxe, or the middle of your fan has the little Anarchy looking symbol. And then it says bitaxe real big, Solo Satoshi, really nice sticker sheet. And then here is your Solo Satoshi. Thank you for choosing Solo Satoshi, the #1 place for Bitcoin home mining. NerdQaxe setup instructions on the back, bitaxe mining community, and the home mining podcast. And then it says contact us at, and then it's their contact information right there. and it says shipped from Texas, and I can confirm it ships from Texas, and it ships very quick in the US. All right, so anything else in here? The other piece of our power cord, the US part, the adapter. I think that one even broke something else. Glass and a Funko Pop box that shouldn't have been laying there. Okay, I digress. So let's open this up and then see what we got. So here is our power supply. So the power supply is a little different. The difference is, the main difference is the power connector. This type of power connector can handle way more power and output, throughput, without heating up, without causing problems with your board. So it says it's a switching power supply, 124 watt, 10 amp, 12.4 volt, 10 amp. So there's your power supply brick, has the little light indicator. This is your power supply for the cord for the power supply. We've got our actual device. Let's open it up next. Our stand and our Noctua. I do like the way this is shipped compared to some others. This guy got shipped with the stand built just like this, and it came from overseas. It got cracked all apart. Shout out to DCE for sending me the replacement parts with no questions asked. Check out that video up above. But I digress. Shipping it this way ensures that it gets safely, and then you just have to put a little effort and put the screws in and hook it on there. I believe is it screws? Oh no, so they're even better. So Solo Satoshi made pinouts. So this just clips on the pinouts, no screws needed. That's always a plus. Unless you're trying to move it, make sure you don't drop it. All right. Let's get rid of that and that. There it is. There is our board. This is the NerdQaxe Plus. A normal Qaxe Plus. They advertise them at 4.5 terahash, and I believe they say that they run about 90 watts is the most of them advertised. This one should be able to be pushed farther, and of course you can push those things farther with the overclocking, but they won't necessarily handle the overclocking. This guy should, and we'll tell you all about why. First, let's just take a close-up of this thing, already assembled. We'll time warp into the future, take a close-up look at this thing, and then we'll come back and talk some more. Go. Oh man, she's a beaut. So let's jump over to their website. We're gonna show you this specific product. We're gonna read to you exactly the upgrades and changes on this guy compared to a regular NerdQaxe Plus, and then we'll come back, get it assembled, fire it up, and all that fun jazz. Let's go. Okay, so here we are. We're over in the solosatoshi.com, link down in the description, of course. And here it is, the NerdQaxe Bitcoin Solo Miner. And what did they say? They say the new and improved NerdQaxe crushes its predecessors with overclocking abilities over 6 terahashes at just over 100 watts. Cooler 1-ounce copper traces, a beefy XT30 power feed, that's that new power connector that goes onto the board and onto the power supply, and a spring-mounted heatsink that squeezes out 12% more efficiency, except no substitutions. So yeah, it's saying that they have replaced, the board configuration is actually a little different. And we'll compare the standard NerdQaxe that most people buy from other companies and the Solo Satoshi NerdQaxe when we go back over there. Visually, we'll show you the differences, but not visually, they have changed the traces. And what are the traces? Those are the copper wires that run throughout the board that go from your power delivery to your chips, and those tend to get hot, and so they have upgraded those, and it says to a cooler 1-ounce copper trace. So apparently they are beefier traces running through the board. I know some of the components and the layout of the board are different. You can just visually see the differences, and then of course the upgraded power delivery with the different power connector. That again is the XT30 power feed. And then it says fuse-free reliability, and yes, the other ones all have a inline fuse right below the power connector. So apparently with the new beefy power connector, we don't need that. So now the price, of course, it's showing right here. It's $3.99 for your standard, which is definitely better or in line with any other NerdQaxe++ you're going to find on the market. So the competitive price is amazing. Then if you want to go the next step, like the one that we're showing you on the table, is that you can buy the Noctua rear fan. So you're probably thinking, oh man, that's going to be a huge cost. It's 20 bucks. 20 bucks upgrade. Different stand comes with it to accommodate that, because you've got that fan ready to go. So you've got the rear Noctua. So if you're shelling out $400, take my advice, shell out $420. Get the rear cooling, the Noctua. Get the upgraded. That way you can push it more. You can get better hash rate and with great efficiency. We can thumb through a couple of these. Let's see if they show. Let's look at some close-up looks of these guys. So yeah, right there. There is your new power connector up here. That thing is nice. It's beefy. Look how thick the leads are that go to it. More stable, more stability on the power delivery, so that's pretty awesome. And they're showing you right there on one that's running 6.3 terahash a second. Does it show? It doesn't show the power usage in that view, but still, oh, right there it is, 102 watts. So yeah, 6.3 terahash on 102 watts. It's pretty impressive. Watts per terahash, 16. That is pretty good efficiency. So yeah, let's click through a couple more of these just to see. There's that power connector again, and that is just your LilyGo. That's kind of standard. And it shows right here, the other ones don't have this little stamp assembled in the US. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Power connector. And there is the device again. So yeah, there it is. So yeah, the NerdQaxe++ Bitcoin Solo Miner detailed overview is the world's first open source quad chip Bitcoin Solo Miner. It's running 4 of the BM1370, which is what are in a bitaxe gamma. From the Bitmain S21 Pro ASIC chip. Its Revision 6 ditches the fuse for uninterrupted uptime. It adds a beefier XT30 power stage and thicker copper to run cooler. It now pushes over 6 terahashes at just over 100 watts, roughly 16.5 watts per terahash, joules per terahash, easily topping earlier versions. Its onboard LilyGo display doesn't only show hash rate, it can track live Bitcoin price, network stats, so you always know exactly how your miner and the market are performing. That's on all of them, however. So here's the key upgrades. The power input, we already said it replaces the 8A connector, which was a barrel jack, and it supports up to 15 amp without voltage sag. 1 ounce copper, improved trace layouts on the board, improve board temps by 21%. So that's huge. And then they were smart and they used this spring-mounted heat sink, basically your cooler that hooks down over your chips. Now they put springs on the 4 mounting post, which I would think a lot more people would do or companies would do, because that's how every CPU in the world is pretty much mounted. Any good CPU has to have good spring-loaded posts to hold it on and give even pressure across your cold plate. So then what else? Relocated temperature sensors to give better ASIC temperature readings. PCB is thicker, gives you more durability. Mechanical one-use fuse replaced by intelligent power monitoring resettable PSU fuses, and 12% efficiency gain over the Revision 5, delivering more hash for every watt. So yeah, here's some pictures of the temperature differences. Man, you can see this board on the right here is just like lit up hot. And this is the newer version. You can tell this is the barrel jack by the connector, and this is the new connector on the Revision 6. And then you can see how much heat right below the power connector. Yeah, that's a huge difference. And then you've got some performance specs down below, yada, yada, yada. And then below here, it does tell you what comes with it. It also gives you this quick start guide. It tells you here's how to set up this device, and it sets up just like any other one, which is super easy. How to overclock. This is how to overclock. Again, super easy if you're familiar with any of these. And then they also are suggesting some of their other products down below, like heat sinks and whatnot. Yeah, so there's the overview. Let's go get this thing set up in mining. Let's go. Okay, so that's the overview. Next, before we actually assemble this thing and fire it up, let's compare this guy to a different regular NerdQaxe. So let's get that. Ready, go. Boom, there it is. Okay, so this is from a competitor, and so what do we see different right off the bat? It's using the same type of fan. The cooler looks to be the same. However, the cooler mounting is the huge difference on this. First and foremost, this is a silver one. This is a black cooler. Usually doesn't make a difference in temperature as long as the cold plate's still good. So first and foremost, they spun the cooler. The heat pipes go in this way on this one. On this one, they're going down this one. But that's not the big case for change here. The big case for change, and it might be hard to see, on this one, there's a big old mounting bracket back here. A big cooler bracket, like an X bracket, to hold the board on, to hold the cooler on. So on the front where it mounts here, you have an X behind that cooler with 4 holes. Those holes go into just some plastic grommets, and then on the back, you've got your basically like a mounting bracket like a CPU would on the back. So what's different on this one? How are they doing it? Notice no mounting bracket. No mounting bracket at all. Instead, they have 4 posts, 4 screws, and then there's spring mounting screws right into it. So what's that mean? That should make it so that your cold plate is an evenly distributed pressure across all those chips. If you've got spring mounts on all 4 corners, it should put an even amount of pressure from the chips to the cold plate. That will allow the heat to distribute, to move from the chips into the cold plate, up through the cooler, and ultimately dissipate that heat with the fan blowing into the metal fins. So that's a huge improvement, supposedly. In theory, that's a huge improvement, right? So then the other part is the heavy-duty copper traces and the board layout itself. So the board layout, I mean, you can see the differences. Let's put a couple pictures up on the screen. So for the board layout, this is the Solo Satoshi version. And it's very clean with not much components on the front. And then this is the competitor brand. And you'll see, this one has little heat sinks on here. And I assume that's because they have to try to dissipate some of that heat that's being caused by the smaller traces and of course the different power delivery with the barrel jack. So this one by stock came with these 3 heat sinks on here because they probably know that there is already a heat problem with these. This one has no heat sinks here. The little layout is a bit different. Like you have chips in different places. You can just see different pieces are soldered on into different places. And then of course, the obvious change is your power connector here and here. On the back, of course, is just the CPU bracket. And there's some of the components were from the power delivery were moved from over here on the front, from the front on this one, and they've moved them to the back. And what that does is that allows the rear cooling to blast on it to allow the power delivery and the front of the board to be cooler. So very ingenuitive. Like that's what I love about the bitaxes, NerdQaxes, all of these open source projects are they're just continually building. People are having better ideas. They're building upon the good base, the great decisions, and they just keep pushing them and pushing them. And so that's how we stand today. And there's your visual comparison. Now that we took a look at both of these and we kind of compared just visually, let's go ahead and set this guy up. Physical setup on these are really pretty simple. You got 4 pegs on your stand by default, and you're just gonna hook in your pegs and make sure that they click in good. You don't want it to just fall off, which I've known to drop things. Pretty easy. Okay, there it is. The only thing is with these, with the peg system, it does snap on there pretty good, but if you're moving it, make sure that you have your fingers wrapped around the board and so you don't drop that thing straight on its head. All right, so let's open up our beautiful Noctua with the nice tan and brown coloration. Let's see how we're gonna hook this guy into this stand. There is the beautiful fan. Yeah, I think we're just gonna use these regular screws that came with it. So I just need a skinny screwdriver to go through this hole. We're gonna mount this guy right onto our stand. We wanna orientate it though, so that our power wire can route to the the fan header, which is right beside the board here. I think we're gonna run it just like that with the fan wire going out that way. We're gonna save you watching us fiddle with the screwdriver, putting that in, and we're just gonna make it happen like that. Boom, just like that, we got it all hooked up. Time warp, baby. So we actually ran it out of this side. Right here is where it's coming out, and then that gave it just the perfect amount of slack to come across, go into your pin header. So we hooked the pin header in first, then we sized it up and we hooked it on there. So that means you need to have your board on first if you're going to put it exactly in this orientation. That way you have no slack. But yeah, look how nicely it all fits on there. And of course, there's a double pin header right here already on the board. So yeah, there it is. There it's built. Now we just want to go ahead and plug it in and fire this thing up. And that completes the physical setup. Like, it's literally that easy. It does take a couple minutes to get these in. You need to make sure you have a thin enough screwdriver Phillips that goes through there so that you can tighten those in easily. So you take and thread all 4 of the screws in first, then go ahead and put your line it up and then tighten it in. All right, so here is our awesome new connector, power connector, and it can only go one way because one side's rounded, one side's flat. So we're in. Now of course we're gonna plug it into the power meter so we can get exact power usage on this thing. And just so you know, this guy over here, this NerdQaxe Hydro, it's the board layout on it is the exact same board layout as this and as most NerdQaxes. So that's why it has the older version, revision. Move that out of the way. And right away, our Noctua started spinning in the back and our fan started spinning in the front. We're not going to go through the actual Wi-Fi setup and all that. If you need to know how to do that, check out the video up above. We go over in detail on how to connect it and grab your pool and put all that information in. But the quick summary is we'll connect this thing to our mobile device. We'll then connect it, put the settings in for our Wi-Fi SSID, and then that will make this connect to our network. Then we can update our pool and our worker name, our wallet address, and get it on the network and get it hashing. So yeah, let's time warp and make it happen. Ready, go. Boom, just like that magic, baby. It's set up, it's mining. We went ahead and we just did the Wi-Fi setup. We saved, we restarted through our mobile device. We got on the computer. We just copied over our stratum, our port, our pool, and our Bitcoin worker address and .worker name, and it fired right up, saved, restarted, and it's back on the network. It is showing up in the pool already. We're using CK stats, CK pool, and then we use CK stats to check it out. And then we have public pool as our fallback stratum. So yeah, there it is, it's set up. We're going to save the overclocking and testing for another video because this one's already getting a little bit long. But there it is. It is a beautiful device. This is the Solo Satoshi NerdQaxe Plus, boasting up to 6 terahashes on only 100 watts. These are different competitors. This is a NerdQaxe Hydro with the old revision. This is also a NerdQaxe The old revision board does not have the beautiful new power connector and the traces and the CPU mount. As far as I can tell, Solo Satoshi is exclusively the only one selling this way upgraded design. So make sure to check out Solo Satoshi. Tell them that your boy Altered sent you. Again, I'm not affiliated. I don't get any kickback. I just love a good product and a good marketing, and this is a beautiful product. Tell me what you think. What do you think of this NerdQaxe or really any of these guys? Make sure you share your thoughts down in the comments below. Tell us what you think. What's your favorite solo miner right now? I think that about wraps it up for today's video. If you're new to mining, need some help, make sure to join the Misfit Mining Discord. Always plenty of seasoned vets in there willing to help you out. If you like the video, you know what to do. Smash that like button and subscribe for future content. Thanks for coming along and enjoy the ride. The ride. Yeah.